Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We do deserve attention and respect.
From somebody, somewhere. Somewhere. Maybe not on this planet. We'll see. We're trying. We're trying our best. Hey, folks. Good day, morning, evening. Whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. We welcome you aboard. This is another adventure on Internet streaming radio, the Andy and Amanda Show. You got Andy Kimball here in the United States, proudly connecting with, honored to connect with the one, the only, the talented, the articulate, the bright, the amazing Amanda Love in the UK.
Oh, what an introduction, my darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's a little warm in this room now. How you doing, darling?
I'm doing all right. It is hot as hell here in California. We've had since Thursday or Friday. You've heard that over there. It is. I was just in my car. It was 106 degrees. It is damn hot. It is really hot, and it's day after day after day after day after day after day. And there's no rain. We're in a big drought. There's no rain. There's no. You know, I had a couple of days on the beach. I think I put some pictures up. I forget, but I was down in Manhattan Beach, which is very close, about 40-minute drive from my house, and was down there for a couple of days and really enjoyed it. What a great the beach sides of Southern California, great communities, great beaches, and a lot of fun things to do, a place to eat and drink. Yeah. And, so I was down there for a couple of days, get some relief, and of course my house is air conditioned, but it's been every single day of 100 plus every day. And,
wow, I hear some parts were 116.
127 in Death Valley, which is probably, I don't know, Death Valley, a couple hours away, if that. But you know what's interesting? That there's some motels and places in Death Valley. It is a big, it's a national, I don't know what you call it, desert or whatever, but it's a big, people come to see Death Valley. And since they posted those temperatures, record-breaking temperatures of 127 degrees, tourists have been flocking there to experience it. The hotels are booked.
Way.
Yeah. Motels are booked. Traffic jams getting in and out. He's like, hey, anyway, people are honking.
I am stunned.
Yes.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Who am I? Why am I here?
That's what I'd be saying standing out there in 127 degrees.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah, you and me both,
You wouldn't be able to stand out in it that long for 127 degrees. Oh my goodness, the temperature you've got there, 106.
106.
I find it like really bad at 105, and that happened for not too long, thank goodness, in Mexico. It quite often just reached 100. It was between 90 and 102 most days. And when it reached 105 and I was out in it, I said, I can't cope with this. This is intense. And, to think that people are going at 127 degrees is just ridiculous. My goodness. Serious health problems as well from that. You've got to be careful.
I can't follow the logic on that at all.
No.
Really?
Me neither. I don't understand.
None. Yeah, no. there is none. But it's hot here. And what I've also seen, I think, and this is just me, is that although it's very dry, it's not this humid heat that you get back where I'm from the East Coast, which could be 80 degrees and feel like 107. But you need oxygen tanks to walk around. It can get so humid. And years prior, I lived in Florida. Can we talk, man? Summertime down there, you go outside and need oxygen tanks. I mean, it's so thick. And here in California, it's not that humid, but it's still very hot. But what I've seen in the last few days, and I'm sensitive to this, is that humidity has creeped up a little bit. We have somebody chiming in, actually a weather expert who's invited to come into the phone. He's actually been doing a archaeological dig up in the Antarctica, looking for ancient fossils and measuring the temperature as to what it is today versus how it may have been way back when man first walked the earth in the Antarctic, home of Santa Claus. And he just came. Oh man, where'd he go? Just dropped.
Oh, no.
So hopefully you'll call back in. Well, Mr. Weatherman, you're welcome to come. If you hear us, please do join us again. Love to
Maybe
have
the
you
introduction
back.
spooked him.
Yeah, let me give him the phone number one more time.
The number 30330 or 303-330.
I love that every time. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to be careful not to give that number out sometimes because you may slip up and say, "Oh, what's the number for the show?" It says 330.
And our phone lines get jammed. Here he is. Here he is. Captain Ahab, the weatherman, calling us from the Arctic. Let me see. I think it might be cold up there. Captain Ahab, you with us, Mr. Weatherman? Are you on the show? Hello?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Hello? Man, it's raining hell out here, man. I can't control it out here, dude. It's like I've never seen fire come out the sky.
How you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm going great, Amanda says. I'm doing great. I'm on the road right now. So I say, you know what? All up while I'm on the road.
Absolutely. It's the best thing to do.
And folks, just so you know, this is Mr. Cornell Butler. He is the person responsible for the show. He introduced Amanda and I a couple years back, and the rest is history. He's a coordinator for our show, seeks out guests, social media.
I know. It's like a whirlwind of life changes happened that day.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my goodness. So how is everything there? You said you got rain?
Yeah, no, it's rain and fire.
Oh, it's raining fire.
Knock it off.
Hey,
really?
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Tell me, Andy. Can you please tell me?
Yes, I will. We have a new leader in the UK. Boris Badenoch kissed the Queen's hands, or she kissed his. I forget how it goes. Whatever they do, the formality, something like that. I forget what they do. I think they just.
Give this man a beer.
And they let him go.
That would be my way of doing it.
But the woman, it was Debbie Dimples. What's her name?
The new Prime Minister.
Oh, no, I got to look at something else. Yeah, the Prime Minister's name is Liz Truss. Liz Truss.
Yeah.
What do we know about her? There was two people in the running, and I think she wasn't the one we were favoring. Am I right? When we talked about it on the show a while back.
No.
Am I right about that?
Actually,
or she's the one that we were
favoring her.
That was one. I got it backward. Okay, I got it backward. All right. Can you tell us something about Amanda? We have a big audience over there in the UK. Let's talk about that for a little bit. What's going on over there with the new leader, a new Prime Minister?
Wow, I'm pretty excited to have her in. I don't know what the common opinion is right now, because I guess everybody's tense with this new changeover, and they're all hoping that she's going to be better than Boris Badenoch. But yeah, I mean, she's sound in terms of how she comes across in personality and how sincere she appears with her, the ideas that she has to make changes, for everybody. So she's kind of, I guess she's trying to represent the underdog here. I mean, we've got a lot of crisis on our hands right now since, this whole Russian war with the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously, as you know, I've mentioned it in nearly every show, everybody's really stressed here about it. So, yeah, they want to bring down basically the cost of our energy, and Liz is going to try and push that as much as possible. She's hired a new team of people, her sidekicks. They seem pretty cool so far. We've got this lady who is, let me just dig her out. Her name is Therese Coffey. Oh, she must like her coffee in the morning. And they've labelled her as karaoke loving. She loves partying as much as she does working for government. But her plans are to help sort out our national health system. And she plans to support ambulances and deal with all the backlogs in medical care and getting to see doctors and stuff like that, as well as dentists as well. She's focusing on that aspect, which is pretty cool.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are the major things that are the crisis within the NHS at the moment. So I don't know. We'll see. She seems like a very bubbly person, but we shall see what turns out with her. I don't really know much about her till now. And yeah, with Liz, I just really hope she brings forward what she's been claiming to do. Like she said, she's going to. Yeah. I
have a recording here of her address that she gave to the, I guess to the Queen. I forget. Anyway, let's take a listen here. Right here we go. Yeah.
In a relationship, you have to make time for sex.
I guess our people will love her even more.
Whoa. Oh, my God. I'm hanging up.
Oh, yeah. She's sane. But she said that, so basically the plan is to limit the amount our bills will go up, and the government are going to get involved, and they're expected to compensate energy firms for the difference between what they pay in wholesale for gas and the electricity they pay and the amount they can charge customers. And she's saying that customers will not be expected to repay the help with the huge support package, which is going to be funded by the government. They're borrowing $100 billion to try and sort this out. And she said the final sum will depend on the cost of energy on the international energy markets. And yeah, so that, you know, I think government are criticising her for this, saying they don't see it's going to go through very well. It's not a best solution to move forwards, but she's trying. And I think that may help. It may help because, like I said, there's going to be little old people all over the country who can barely afford to run their heating anyway. And it's going to be even worse for them. And they got to stay warm. So
did you hear the parting words the BBC had regarding? I keep calling him Yeltsin. Johnson, Badenoff, whatever his name is. Johnson. Yeltsin.
Mr. Badenoff. I prefer his
Mr. Badenoff. Let me just find that. Parting words for a bar. Here we go. Yeah.
Trump drank too much and he wore sloppy clothes and spoke bad Russian grammar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. But you know, did you hear there's another shooting here in the UK?
No.
Really? What?
Yeah, the second one in a few weeks. So, you know, that little girl was shot.
What happened?
Well, the police shot somebody on the bridge near London Bridge. This was going back several weeks ago. And then we had a little girl shot within the past few weeks, and she was shot dead, and they didn't catch the killer. As far as I'm aware, they still haven't caught the killer. And
was it a stray bullet? Was it a stray bullet? Was it a...
No, it was an intentional kill.
Wait, somebody walked up and shot a 4-year-old girl?
Yeah, she was literally, I don't know if she was 3 or 4. I can't remember.
What? What?
Yeah. And they think it was connected to another lady who was killed prior to that. So they're making a link between that somehow. I want to try and follow that up, actually, because I'm curious about all these gun killings lately. But this new one, it says, Chris Cabba, 24, died after a police pursuit of a car accident in Streatham, Hill, Monday. Independent Office for Police Conduct, no police issue firearm have been found when a detailed to the car surrounded area. Mr. Cabba's family has accused the Met Police of being totally racist. So let me get this right. Are they saying that they shot him or he shot? What I don't like about the BBC News is they don't go into story how it happened first and then comment on the other things afterwards. That would be so much more useful for me.
Wait till after they hear what I have to say.
He's a rapper. Mr. Cabba was a rapper.
A rapper?
And was part of the Mobo-nominated drill group 67. So they're obviously nominated and known. Let me have a dig and I'll get back to you on it because I'm trying to read this at a speed and I don't want to keep everybody waiting.
Well, the news is I heard about Ozzy Osbourne supposed to be moving back to the UK because they said it's too much gun violence in America.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can look up any major paper in any paper in the United States, any city paper, and read about a shooting or shootings or mass shootings or a group of people shot or stabbed, whatever it might be, every single day here in the United States. It's common, unfortunately. We've got to do something about it, and hopefully we will.
I agree.
Too many people have guns. Too many people attack assault rifles they have no business having. The Second Amendment does not give an individual the right to a gun. People think the Second Amendment says that. It does not. If you read it in context, and we've gone over that several times on the show in the past. But anyway, So anybody who wants to call and debate me, I'd like them to call and debate me on that, because let's read the Second Amendment again, and we'll go through it word by word and analyze it. And you see it's a militia, protection of the state. It doesn't seem about individuals owning guns in their homes to shoot people and attack rifles and assault weapons. You think if the founding fathers knew about these weapons back then, they would have put the Second Amendment at all? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. But the thing is, while we're covering and talking about these shootings in the UK, is because it rarely ever happens. Police don't even have guns there. It rarely happens. And now we've had a few in the past few weeks. I mean, and for the UK, that's huge. That's huge news there. There's very, very, very few gun shootings in the UK. There's other forms of violence.
Yeah.
Of course, we shouldn't have any types of violence. Of course we should. We all know that. But putting that aside, you don't hear a whole lot about gun violence there, nor the places in Europe as well. And the United States, you sure do. Holy crap, can we talk? But it's just unbelievable, and that's why we kind of make like a big deal of it on the show, especially because we do connect the U.S. and UK. We're the only show in the world that does that live, and that's a big deal. It is a big deal, and there, and anywhere really. But for hear gun violence in the UK is like, holy crap, really? Wow.
Yeah,
anyway.
It is. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, is it okay? So he was shot dead by the police after a chase in the car. So he was in an Audi. The Audi was meant to be linked to another firearms incident, and the police were chasing.
God.
So, I'm guessing he was shot by the police, by the looks of it. Stunned me, to be honest. You don't hear that very often. You really don't. You don't hear the police chasing down people and shooting them.
No, you certainly don't. In the BBC, you don't hear much about that going in there. You certainly don't. Unbelievable.
No. Yep. But yeah, it's crazy. All this gun violence lately. It's just literally been within a short space of time. All these incidences
around the world.
So, yeah, very much so. It's crazy.
Here it's incredible here. Yeah. So we're not, in the news here, of course, everybody's talking about the documents which Donald Trump had illegally, despite the fact that he was asked to return them to the National Archives, and he returned some but wouldn't return others. Then was issued a subpoena to return them a court order, and he disobeyed the court order. And the FBI went and got them because he disobeyed the court order, and they found that these were incredibly top secret, confidential documents that had no right being in an ordinary citizen's hands, whether he was a former president or not. If that were any one of us, any leader, any politician, any leader, anybody in the United States, we would have been, when the FBI raided and they found those documents, you would have next seen the person being let out of the house or the property in handcuffs. I assure you that's what you would have seen. That's what you would have seen. And now they're finding all these empty folders marked classified top secret, and there's nothing in those folders. Where the fuck is the information in those folders? Where did that go?
What?
Who'd you give it to, Don?
Oh my God.
What foreign leader has them? Who's got them? Don.
Well, that's scary.
And you know what's interesting? Here, I got to just say this real quick. There's a guy, is a wacky conservative commentator here. So 90% bullshit. His name's Tucker Carlson. And what he does, he doesn't really, he's very shrewd in how he talks about things, because he'll say something like what I just said. What foreign leader has the documents, Don? There's no evidence of a foreign leader having documents, right? I mean, I said that obviously out of being sarcastic, but my point in bringing Tucker Carlson's name up is because he says it talking to a national audience of millions or thousands, whatever it is, of people, and then people believe it. Like if Tucker Carlson, right. if that was Obama, who left the White House with all those documents, what do you think the Republicans would be doing right now today? Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the Republicans?
If that was Obama, they would have been locked them up.
What would they be saying?
Yeah.
And they, Hunter Biden. Well, this makes Hunter Biden look like a minor misdemeanor shoplifting a pack of bubble gum compared to Hunter Biden, folks. This makes Watergate look like a misdemeanor. This is huge. This is gigantic. It's a huge major felony, punishable by many years in prison if found guilty, and how is he not going to be found guilty? And this will be the very, very first time ever in history that a former president has been indicted. And he should be, rightfully so. The former president is no different than any one of us when it comes to the laws of the United States of America. Let's take a listen. Here's somebody's got an interesting comment.
This one's for the Trump humpers. Just your daily reminder that Donald Trump is going to get indicted, and Hillary Clinton is not. And because he's too dumb to take a plea deal, and all of this is entirely self-inflicted, he won't take a plea deal, and he's going to be put on trial. He's going to get charged with multiple federal felonies, and there's going to be a jury trial. How fun is that going to be? And Hillary Clinton is not going to have a jury trial. Have a great Saturday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think everybody's on the edge waiting for this. What was it? I caught a glance at something today, and I've been so chaotically busy today. Literally, I was on my phone checking notifications. I briefly saw something that a judge ruled in favor of Trump for something, but I didn't see what it was.
Yes, that was a woman ruled in favor. Well, it doesn't matter, woman or man, who cares? They, a judge. I was just going to mention her name, that's what I said. But anyway, a judge said agreed with Donald Trump's attorneys or whoever that they would appoint a master to oversee the scanning and going through of those documents. Because they felt some might be confidential, privileged, personal things that were inadvertently taken during the raid. Some of these personal things, like his past pictures, were returned to him already. But anyway, and the thing is, this is, and I think the Department of Justice is probably going to appeal this. I mean, this is what Trump does. This is his history for his whole career. This guy has been sued more times than anybody else you ever want to read about. And he settled a lot of these lawsuits, and especially that one where he tried to scam all these people, thousands of people, out of thousands of dollars for his bullshit scam Trump University program, where he took life savings from people to say, hey, my instructors are going to teach you everything you know about becoming a real estate mogul. All bullshit. You scammed all these people out of all this money, settled for $55 million prior to the campaign, so it wouldn't come up during the campaign. But anyway, it's something else entirely. There's so many things we've touched upon in this show for such a long time.
Yeah.
But what is consistent? What is consistent is that Trump's MO is that he just throws wrenches into a legal process to delay it, to buy time. And while he's buying time, he goes out and condemns and makes up stories and says they're all losers and they're out to get me and I'm the victim and they're just trying to get me and I'm not standing down. This is all a personal attack on me. And then his disciples believe it and they fall for it. Although some of his disciples are starting to come around, seeing the light, so to speak. The truth. Yeah. That this guy is a grifter, he's a scam artist, he's a liar, he's a criminal, unindicted yet, but I think he will be. Again, if anybody, he's done so many things. What president in history has been impeached twice? And all for good reasons, and could have been convicted. And as a matter of fact, Jamie Raskin led the Jamie. That's the reason why I bring his name up. Representative Jamie Raskin's coming on our show, and we'll be arranging that date over the next couple of days. Yeah. But anyway, he speaking of bright and articulate, holy crap, this guy hit the ball over the fence. Big fans. But anyway, so getting back to Trump, what you said, Amanda, is that this master is a third neutral party, supposedly a third neutral party that is agreed upon by both parties that can oversee the DOJ's scanning and going over these documents. There are thousands of documents, literally. Yeah. And most of these documents, if not all, were marked classified. 184 of them were classified top secret. Right. Now, you need a master to say, oh, yeah. What's it say? Oh, it says top secret. Oh, my God. Oh, no, it does. Do you know it's illegal for him to have that? Do you know these documents that Trump had are in such secrecy, your eyes only, you can't even walk to a room with this. Do you know what happens if you are in a White House aide, a White House staff member, or whatever related to the White House, and you walk into a very secure room where these classified documents are with a cell phone, you could be arrested. If you don't check your cell phone at the door, and they find a cell phone on you in that room with these very documents, you'll be arrested on the spot.
Wow.
If anybody walked out of the White House, anybody in this country, in the world, walked out of the White House with any one of these documents, let alone thousands of them, let alone hundreds of top secret classified, that's the toppest levels you can be, right? If anybody was caught with these documents, you'd be in jail for a very long time. A very long time.
get away with this, Andy. How is this guy away with this shit? How?
He's Donald Trump. Well, I think he's not getting away with it, and that's why we're going to start a clock on this show within the next week or so. We're actually going to run a clock, and we're going to call the clock countdown to when we think the indictment's going to be, and we'll see how close we are. But when I get a little more secure, a little more cozy with the actual handing of that indictment, which will happen, we're going to see how close the Andy Amanda show is to the actual time it actually occurs. We were really good with the elections, you know.
The predictions were awesome.
Yeah, we were right on. We were right on. We were right on. And let's see if we can maintain that, both in the primaries and the national presidential election. We were right there, and we'll see if we can maintain that by predicting when the indictment will happen. I have an idea when it's going to happen. I'm not going to announce it yet on the show. In my gut, just in my, it's being intuitive, I guess. I have a feeling for when it's going to happen, even the date, but I'm not going to say it yet. Let's stay tuned.
Okay.
On the Amanda show.
I have a prediction also. I predict that I'm about to pick up my glass and have a swig of water.
Oh, I thought it would be a swig.
One moment, please.
I have a prediction too.
What's that?
Uh-oh.
I have a feeling that Uncle Ike will come on the show.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The real Uncle Ike.
Really?
Real Uncle Ike?
Really?
Yeah.
That would actually be great.
Yeah.
It would actually be great.
Yes, it would.
It would be great. Yeah, for those of you, Uncle Ike was on the show a while ago. He's regularly, and Amanda actually called in, and they hear the two of them go back and forth. What's Uncle Ike? 88 years old or so? I don't know. This guy is just funny as shit. Just has something to say about anything. Anything you mention, he has something to say about it. Funny as hell. Actually, funny. Could be another Red Fox. The guy's amazing.
Have his own clothing line. Have his own juice. Have everything.
His own clothesline, his own juice. Yep. Mm-hmm. Avid participant on WIP Sports Radio in Philadelphia. Sometimes you hear him call in on their show. But cool. And to hear, I guess you can go back. You can go to the Blog Talk Radio and blogtalkradio.com/Andy and Amanda Show and go back to the shows back in April, May 2020, April, May, June, July 2020. You'll hear Uncle Ike in that time period, and to hear, and Amanda, was introduced to the show via Cornell, and she got on the show, and to hear Uncle Ike, and we just sat here quietly to hear Uncle Ike and Amanda go back and forth would have you on the floor. It was just funny as shit. And and Amanda's like the first time on Talk Radio, and she's like, here she is like occupying all the space on Talk Radio. Now she's part of Talk Radio.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I started off like that too. I called in. Can you believe it?
You did. Yeah. Yeah. I think Uncle Ike and I were interviewing somebody in a park outside of Philadelphia who we didn't know who they were.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why we were interviewing somebody in a park, but we were interviewing somebody just walking along in a park, and we were interviewing them.
Excellent.
And now we're the Andy Amanda Show, 450 episodes later. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you know what just came up? This just came across. I got to read this before I start talking about it. Sometimes the news I get this service here. Michigan Republican leaders encourage rule breaking at poll worker training sessions. The evening before Michigan State primary in Wayne County, GOP leaders held a Zoom training session for poll workers and partisan observers, warning them that bad stuff's happening during the election and encouraging them to ignore local election rules, barring cell phones and pens from polling places and vote counting centers. Quote, none of the constraints that they're putting on this are legal, end of quote, former State Senator Patrick Colbeck told trainees on the August 1st call.
Right.
Their former leader was impeached twice and stole top-secret government documents from the White House. And the Dems are bad. The Dems are driving this country into the ground. The Dems Biden, Sleepy Joe, da-da-da-da. And it's amazing what's going on beneath their very, very, very nose, their eyes, their ears. And these people are intelligent people. I'm not going to begin to belittle the intelligence and the perceptiveness of fellow Americans. It's just amazing how some will call something one way, and another person will call it another way. Only one of those people has the true facts. The other person does not.
Yeah.
And it's just something. And when the person does not have the true facts, they distort, they detour, they go around, find other things to blame and belittle and say how bad something is to get around the fact of to get around the seriousness and the significance of what's beneath their nose and what they can see with their own eyes and what they can hear with their own ears. And that I think to me is as disappointing, almost disturbing about people in general, as the people who are directly involved with these activities. Trump. If Trump did what he did, he got caught. Let's say, whether he'll ever do any time in jail, I doubt it. If again, he's not above the law. If he's convicted, he should serve whatever the rules say that you get punished for doing that crime. Whatever it is, he's no different than you or I regarding that. If he's found guilty and not punished, I think there goes our democracy again. What's the rule of law and how it applies to? I don't care who you are, former president or not. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have a constitution. We have laws. And this is a country. This is a world of laws. No matter where you live, you've got laws where you live. And when you violate those laws, and you might not agree with them, and that's why you run for office, to try to make change. That's why you vote people for who you champion. That's why we need to get as many people involved in the political game to make a change. People are out there, saying, even behind these microphones, and people have behind the microphone tried to run, probably not in agreement with what we think in terms of ideology or political philosophy, but people have run from behind the microphone, some successful, some not, but people of all walks of life had said, what do we play on the show? I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to do something about it. And they go and they try to organize a political campaign and try to run and try to get elected to office and make a change and make a difference. And that's how it happens. It doesn't you can protest, you can march, you can raise a stink, you can do whatever you're going to do. But unless you are in a position to be able to adjust or write a law or adjust a law or disintegrate an existing law, marching is not going to do you any good. How's that going to do anything? It brings the attention, they marched and they believe this. Oh, my God. So you got to go to the polls and vote. Yeah. And that's what happens. You go to the polls and you initiate change. Exercise your right to vote. There are 333 million people in the United States of America. Do you know what the average percentage turnout is for people to vote?
No.
I don't either. Anyway, that's what
Damn it, I was waiting for that. I was expecting you to know.
But anyway, it's very low. It's like 30%. As a matter of fact, as I recall, I think this last presidential election had the largest turnout in history, I believe, and that's why. Yeah, and that's why I think it was over. I know it was over. It was over. I don't remember the exact number because I have to jiggle my mind here because I remember reading the number. But I know it was over 61%. It was right around 61 point something percent. Let's say 61%. It's right around there. And I'm probably pretty close. But anyway, that is a record break. And that's when Donald Trump said, hey, I got more votes than any other president has in history. How did I possibly lose this election? Donald, yes. Joe Biden got more than that. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. They stole the election. They rigged the voting machines. They brought ballots in by trash trucks, and they carried them in trash bags and counted them. Donald, yes.
With what purpose? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Just so they could win the election. But what's the story behind that? If they're saying that the election was rigged, why do they think the election was rigged, and for what purpose? Other than just getting in and being in power?
Well, he didn't. He wanted to create an authoritarian rule in this country. This is a guy who campaigned for military parades like they have in North Korea.
Yeah.
He wanted them to salute. He wanted a military parade that would go by him in the White House, and everybody pay homage to the great ruler Donald Trump, the great grifter, the great scam artist, the great liar, the great criminal, unindicted. We've never had a president like that, and it's an embarrassment. It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment how America put this guy in office. We could go on and on and on. And
seriously,
and I hope
if he did that, the UK would be laughing at him. I'm sorry.
The UK, you wouldn't put up with that for 2 seconds.
No,
you would. If somebody came in your backyard, Amanda, in your country, throughout the UK, and throughout Europe, I might be as bold to say, at least the Western, allies, the democracies throughout Europe, if anybody came out with his lies and his bullshit and his propaganda and his insults and they would last a minute and a half, and they'd be laughed at. They'd be laughed off TV screen. Welcome to America.
It's crazy. It really is. And I don't like to say too much about it because what do I know? I don't live there.
You know everything. You know everything.
I hear what you guys tell me. I hear what gets said on the news. But to be part of it, actually be there and be part of it, the mental structure, everything, the culture, everything that goes on there, I can only pass comments from what I see and hear from here. Mm-hmm. So my opinion is valid for me, but not valid for everybody there. And, who really knows what it's like until you actually experience it. So when I say things, it's just from my perception and my opinions and what I see goes on and what I get told and what I get to hear. And, many argue that the media gets manipulated and many argue that it doesn't, that it's very truthful. But we all know how Trump pushed that as well.
You don't like to do. You're absolutely right, and that's an issue that I have with some of the press, and not all the press. Not all the press.
Yeah.
There's some very good, very excellent professionals out there that take pride and have a lot of integrity in what they do for a living. More power to them. And then there's some, like this joker I told you about, Tucker Carlson and others, and the Sean Hannitys of the world, some of the some of the right-wing extremist radio commentators are out there who might say something that has some merit, but they don't complete the context of where it comes from. And what I like to say is something might be true but not accurate. In other words, when you know what I'm saying. So what I'd like to do is, and some people outright lie. I mean, that happens a lot too on both ends of the spectrum. Both if you tend to be more left leaning or right leaning. I hate these expressions. Left right, it puts one against the other, and I hate that whole premise that you have to be against each other. Why can't you just be all one and sit down and have an honest discussion? Why don't we all one? Why don't we just do that? Why do we have to be these left-wingers, these radical leftists, these conservatives?
I agree.
Well, the hell with all that shit. We're all one. We're all one America. We're all one world.
Yes.
We truly are. And why can we not sit down at the table, respect each other for who we are, what we are, where we came from, where we're going, and have an honest discussion with the utmost respect given to the other party, and somehow reach a compromise in which we can all live very effectively under and raise our kids and go to good schools and have good jobs and make some decent money? And why can't we all hit that target together? Why do we have to be left versus right? And the thing is that the potential and possibility to do that is very real. But as long as we have that left versus right, radicals, there's that group, there's that group, and name calling and belittling and berating and insulting and putting one, pitting one against another, as the former president did quite often, it gets us nowhere and creates further divisionism. We have to disregard that. We have to disregard nationality, skin color, where is one from. We all want to live good, effective lives. We want good lives for our kids and the generations that follow us, don't we? Then why don't we do it together and stop all this bullshit?
Yeah. I mean, the thing I've been amazed about, and I perceived from here in America, is right from the 40s onwards, it could have been sooner than that, I don't know, forgive my lack of knowledge, but when if somebody spoke differently about politics or their views about peace in America, you were a communist. And you supported Russians and went against the U.S. political system. if you had an idea or a belief of something different than what, you know, your politicians and government was telling you had to follow. And so I find that very interesting, seeing the division from that alone and how people would be attacked in that sense and judged and outcast just for thinking differently or perceiving something differently without sitting these people down and educating them. Okay, so where's this idea come from? You know, get to know where that came from, right? Instead, no, it's like a witch hunt. And the same kind of thing is happened in British history here and there, not quite to the same level as the US. But I mean, even over here in the past few years, the police have been trying to change the educational system and what children are learning and what they can get away with expressing in terms of how we perceive how we do business here. And the political system. So that made me think, okay, so they're trying to create a divide in society with that as well. So, you know, and like you said, we've got like the left wing and the right wing, and we've got all these various political parties that are all trying to divide everybody. Well, they're not trying to. I guess we've all got to categorize and label something because that's the way our system of humanity works. You have to label things. But when it comes to how it can affect people and how they go against each other, you only have to look at what happened with Brexit here in the UK. That was the most controversial thing we've experienced in years, with how we turned on each other for one simple vote to either keep us in Europe or out of Europe. It was that simple, and everybody turned on each other. They broke friends, they broke family connections. It was absolutely vile and disgusting. There was even violence involved in some cases. So it just to show you how simple political maneuvers can also create such divide amongst us all.
Of course. Yeah.
And it's breaking. It really is.
It is. We have a caller that is calling from, it looks like Atlanta, Georgia. The line's letting up from. Welcome to the Ed Demander Show. Hello, you with us?
Yeah, I am. How you doing? Yeah, calling from Atlanta.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm enjoying listening to you guys, though. This is an interesting conversation. There's a few things I want to push back on if I can, but yeah, I'm enjoying the
certainly are welcome
like
to. You are certainly welcome
to. Go for it, darling.
Yeah, the first thing, the idea that this couldn't happen in the UK, not only do I disagree, I say it actually did happen. When you look at Boris and, you know, the group that you just talked about, the Brexit movement, Cambridge Analytica, where you're feeding people disinformation about what Brexit would entail, and then it was like the dog who chases the car. Then you get the car and you find out, oh, this is not actually what I wanted. So I think you actually could do that in the UK. And not to mention... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. But from that standpoint, you're absolutely right. But what we're pertaining to is the criminality and the deception and the scamming and the lies that have been part of somebody's whole career before they became president. You could read, you can look at it, you could see it. And then they get on TV and they scam and they lie and they belittle and they demean and they call it opponents' names. That didn't happen in the UK. I mean, these things that you're talking about did.
And this is where I would disagree. I would say, Boris's whole life kind of encapsulates that. And also, we got to add the media smears against Jeremy Corbyn to basically drive him out and leave Boris as the only option and presenting it as if he was a reasonable actor. Like I said, I think these things are possible. And then remember, the racial resentment that was, you know, kind of played upon during that period where you're trying to get people deported. You're talking about look, once you're willing to walk into that arena, then you're willing to believe anything you see on Facebook. So you get the memes out there, you get people believing different things that aren't true. You create a crime docket, and you start making up criminal activity against a group, and before you know it, you can turn a country against a group.
Yeah, amazing.
And so,
And
so the reason, one of the biggest reasons I called in is because we got to understand something. Politicians don't create divides within countries. These divides aren't created by so-called left or so-called right. These divides already exist in the country from how these countries are founded. So the fact that somebody can play upon those fears, the anxieties and emotion and hatred that's an issue that's, it's already baked into the cake. So Donald comes down the escalator talking about Mexican rapists and killers and all this other stuff, plays well with the crowd he's appealing to because he knows who he's talking to. And eventually the Republicans had to get on. They dismissed him at first, but eventually they had to get on board with him because he had such a huge chunk of their constituency that was ready to ride with it. Now, in America, like point blank period, the racist problem in America has always been covered under the rug, and then it just rears its head every few years and gets, drastically worse. And that will continue to happen until we actually solve these problems. So it can't be a thing of, well, we're all humans and we could just get along. Well, if that was the case 900 years ago, we wouldn't be in this scenario right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that have to be adjusted and fixed, and a lot of people have to be educated in a way.
Yes, you're so right. And we can do that. We as people have the ability and the power to be able to make these things happen. And just being a citizen and going about your life, it's difficult just to do that, just living your life day in, day out, unless you do something to facilitate and perpetuate that change. We got to do something. We got to speak up. We got to get involved in the schools and school boards and education and local politics and things. And then we begin to facilitate. We got to write. We got to write op-eds. We got to get on the radio.
Yeah,
you've got to get to the root
of the problem. Got to get to the root of the problem, and that's what we don't do in every aspect.
The trouble is, for every person you can pull out of that and try to educate, these systems, just think about how fast a meme on Facebook can travel. Think about how fast anything on Twitter can travel. So whatever education you're trying to give somebody, where you're trying to kind of pull them out of that stuff, they can go get reinforcement on things that they believed before quickly, and before they know, well, that guy didn't know what he was talking about. It says right here on this meme that, X, Y, and Z. And they're going to continue to believe that, and that's the difficulty there. That's why this problem hasn't been solved. And there have been generation after generation of people who are fighting it, and you don't want to ignore the progress that has been made, because of course it has been made.
Yeah. Of course it has. Greatly so.
We've got to remember every step of progress in the Western world has come with either people willing to spill their blood or fight for whatever agenda it was, whether it was getting rid of child labor, getting rid of enslavement, getting rid of the idea of women can't, earn a certain wage or speak for themselves or be able to have a loan or a house or anything. Like all these different stages, we had to fight for these things, and that's going to continue. So I understand marching and people getting together and activism doesn't sign a bill, but it does create the conditions where the bill that you want can be signed. Shout out to those Occupy kids who 15 years ago changed the global conversation about student loan debt. And what do we see today? A student loan debt bill. That was never possible without those kids doing what they did out there. So I know I'm long-winded, but I just wanted to say a few things, and I'm going to enjoy hanging back and listening to y'all, man. But good show.
You know what?
I appreciate it.
Darling, we appreciate having you come on and express your opinions.
Yeah, you bet. Call in anytime. And glad to have you on board. Thanks a lot.
And can I ask you a question before you go, my darling? How did you hear about the Andy and Amanda show?
Oh, I was on Blog Talk, and I saw the title, and then I looked at what you guys were talking about. I was like, oh, well, let me listen to this. This might be interesting. So, I found you guys on Blog Talk.
Well, thanks very much. We appreciate that, my sweet. We appreciate it. And come back anytime and have a chat with us.
Oh, will do. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, darling. You too. I love it when we get people involved, because it's always good to hear everybody else's education, their ideas, beliefs, what they've learned, what they perceive. It always challenges us to think deeper, look deeper. Oh, I overlooked this, or I didn't think about that. And I love it. It's great.
And again, even as you remember during the presidential campaigns, although we did predict it accurately, I just like to pat ourselves on the back a little bit here and there. We had people call up and who disagree. Some would disagree and outright lie. We didn't tolerate that on the show. And some disagreed with who was it? C1. I used to love when C1 called. Remember C1?
C1's a legend.
he called up a lot, and I think we're all on the same page. But anyway, when people call up and disagree, and we count on that, that's what makes our show. People call up and they, even if they agree, they present different angles, different skews, different their backgrounds and how their perceptions of the world, ideologies, mores, political philosophies are slightly different, although on the same page. and sometimes on a different page. And it's great to have these conversations because that's how you facilitate change. It all starts somewhere along the line. Life starts with a conversation. When a parent tells their baby, Dada or Mama, there's the first conversation right there, and that's where it starts.
Yeah. I think we're not open enough to enough conversation, are we? No. And I think when we do have conversations, it gets very aspect comes in, and it can get very heated because obviously we get passionate as individuals about what we believe, what we think, and what we feel strongly about. And I think that's where it can be really uncomfortable, when somebody gets really aggravated. It's like, yeah, but this, and yeah, but that. And it's like, okay. And I find that difficult to partake in or even be around sometimes when I hear things get so heated, because it's like, if we can take a minute to just relax and try to understand where the other person's coming from, and then come across in a way that is not so aggressive with how we perceive things and what we believe in. I think maybe I could be asking a lot from people. As generally as a species, we are passionate. We do have egos, and we do get aggravated with things, and that's where change can be made sometimes, when we can push with those things. But as long as it doesn't lead to violence, FYI. So yeah, it's I love connecting with people. I love hearing about all sorts of things. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I love talking about the things we talk about. I get educated all the time when I come on this show. I'm learning new things every day. As they say, every day's a school day. And I think it'd be ignorant to say I know everything and I know all about this. I know
but you do know. You do know everything.
No,
I believe you do. I do.
Love it.
Yeah, I'll say
it's a disgrace what happened, frankly, a real disgrace.
Yeah,
I know.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a Democrat hoax.
This is one hell of a fascinating ride we're on, isn't it? You think about it. We're on this planet that spins at such a speed.
Amazing, yes. And on this planet, connecting two countries thousands of miles away and broadcasting into 23 countries around the world. Here's Andy and Amanda.
We're going to do very well. We've done a great job.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it. But can I tell you that China, I think I said this earlier, I'm not sure, I forget. Anyway, China is now 5% of our listenership.
Yeah, you mentioned
Whoa,
that. So
thank
awesome.
you, China. Thank you.
Thank you, China.
Thank you.
We'll ask you more.
It's amazing. As a matter of fact, let me check our map. It all lights up where people correspond from, where they listen, where they download, and we got all that here. Modern technology. I was just going to tell this last caller from Atlanta is that I grew up with no internet, black and white TV. I started my music career when you actually had to make a record and sell it in record stores. Remember record stores, Amanda? Do you remember record stores?
Oh, I love record stores. I quite happily go along to a vinyl store quite often. And check out the vinyl.
And now a lot of people know Amanda's a composer, a very talented songwriter and composer, and I've been playing acoustic blues and folk music for quite a long time. That's my main gig, and started before there was ever an internet. And 2,000 shows and 30 years later, people often ask me, do you have any advice? I've seen just traveling around the country and even here in LA, just seeing so much amazing talent, emerging singer-songwriters and musicians of all genres of music. And I often get asked, do you have any advice? How do you do all this? And here's, and I don't know the answer because, now everybody's making YouTubes and Spotify, or what do you call them? Spitify. What do you call that stuff? Yeah, and Instamatic and Polaroid and all that shit they're doing. Whatever, I don't know what you call this stuff. Plotter, tutor. Tweeter,
hey,
whatever.
Be careful with that. You get a little less crazy.
What do you call it? Whatever it is. Obviously, I show my ignorance here about everything, actually. No, but anyway, and I just play guitar. That's all I know. I get out there and do it, and I started my living before there was an internet. We actually had to make a record when you actually got on the radio and as a guest, and they played your record, and they interviewed you, and you did concerts and sold product. I had a merchandise booth or table set up at your concerts, and people bought your records, and you go to Tower Records, and you do little mini concerts at the record store to promote your new release, and then you travel to different places, and you're on the radio, and they're playing your stuff on the radio, and you're driving in your car and touring. You turn on the radio, and there's a song of yours on the radio. And
so beautiful.
That was my career. And now I think I'm still on radio, unless they may have, since the show started, they may have been blacklisted. I don't know. But anyway, no, no, but I am still on radio. And but the interesting thing is, and here's this is interesting.
Okay.
And a lot of people can't believe this, especially younger folks who are so attached to what do you call it, TikTok and all that stuff. What do you call it?
TikTok.
TikTok. What you know what I'm saying? What you know what I mean? Whatever it is. Yeah. And so here's what happens. If I stated a fact, many people would disagree with this fact, although it's statistically a fact. That it used to be 99%, but it is now 94% of the population streams radio at some day part. It could be streaming radio like the Angie Manuel show. It could be broadcast radio. It could be, but 94%. And here's what supports that statement. And actually, it is a statistical truth. Ask any major advertising agency. I used to be in that business years ago. But anyway, so here's what supports it. Millions and millions and millions and millions of advertising dollars by the major corporations, by the Fortune major corporations, the consumer product corporations, and business-to-business corporations support broadcast radio with their advertising dollars. Millions and millions of dollars to buy ads on radio. Hey, here's the Bee Gees. Right after this message, boom, the message plays. You come over. You talk radio. Hey, folks, we've done Kona Beer. We'll talk and we'll say we'll be right back after this message from Kona Beer, and whatever. We're going to get other advertisers on the show. I would say unfortunately, but true. But that's how we got to get supported, or unless somebody wants to finance us. Anyway, but it's actually true. And so what I tell emerging, and if you're listening, if you're out there, if you're a musician, a composer, a talent, a wannabe band member, an emerging guitar player, or whatever you play, I got to get YouTube. I got to get social media. But okay, it's all well and good. Look up radio stations. Pick any geography. Take a compass, draw a 50 or 100-mile circle. Using an old compass that you used in school math. Draw a circle around it. Get on Google and look up radio stations within X amount of miles, maybe 100 miles, that you think you should know this. You should know this. The radio stations that have the programming that would more be apt to playing your style of music on their show. Might not be their radio station, but a show on that station, namely college stations, NPR stations, or it might be. Or they have a very diverse mix of programming. Contact that radio station, send them your stuff, get to know the host of the program, tell them who you are, what you do. They're going to play you. And if you tell them you say, hey, I'm going to be passing through the area. Right. I'm going to be passing through the area on October 14th. Do you folks have any live guests on your show? I'd love to stop in. Yeah. Where are you playing? Well, so it's in pencil right now. I'm putting it together now. So let me solidify those dates. I'll get back to you. It'd be great if we can kind of coordinate, and I'll come on your show and I'll play the dates in that community. And then you go to the venues and you say, hey, I have an opportunity to promote your venue and my show there. Can we make this booking happening? And then I'm going to give you all this publicity on this major or college or an NPR station in your backyard. Yeah. Okay. How about October 15th? Great. Radio station. Hi. I'll be playing at ABC Cafe on October 15th. Come on the evening, October 14th, promote your show. Bam. Yeah. And then when people Google your name, on the internet, you come up as on a radio station's playlist as well. You come up on their playlist, not just your website, your Spotify, or whatever you call it there. You come up on a radio station's playlist, and then you begin to have some gravity, some weight to your music. So that's just my 2 cents for music. We like to touch on music in our careers and what our day gigs are, so to speak, because that's really what we do regularly. So, hey, speaking of day gigs, Cornell.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
Talk about Phil Nicolo.
Phil Nicolo is coming on the show. I just got off the phone with him. Only thing I can say, he only sold 100 million record units.
That's all.
He worked with he worked, he works for everybody. Sting, Aerosmith, Cypress Hill, the Fugees,
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. He did it all. He's still doing more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
And I had the opportunity to record this film about 2005. I'm thinking if I had to put it together, I just project.
John Lennon also. John Lennon.
Yeah. Yep.
He only was nominated for 39 Grammys. That's all, you know.
Only.
You know.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to coordinate his appearance on the show, along with Jamie Raskin, along with Vince Cuomo. We've got a lot of great guests coming up on the Andy and Amanda show coming down the road here. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We know you're there, and you're welcome to call in, as our last caller did, by dialing 515-605-9888. And we go on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There are some exceptions, but Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, whatever time that is around the world. It's, tune in. And all that being said, this has been a lot of fun. There's some things I wanted to touch upon that we didn't get to. I want to talk about the NFL and the upcoming football season, the football schedule. That's going to be exciting. I'm a football fanatic, and we'll talk about that. Talk about more news. We'll talk about more music. We'll talk about life, love, and romance on Friday's show here on the Andy and Amanda program, blogtalkradio.com/Andy and Amanda show. So those of you listening to the podcast after the fact, hit us up. Listen to some of the archives. You had some fun stuff. Most of it's all fun. You know, you may not agree with everything we say, but that's okay. That's fine. You know, I don't know if we agree with everything we say. So there. Anyway.
That's very true. Opinions change all the time.
They do. I'll be the first one to say I got a floating opinion. You know, the wind blows east. Okay. What's that today? I mean, just, you know what I mean? Hey, you know.
Seems the way it should be as well. If we're set to in our opinions, then that just makes us ignorant, right?
Yeah. The only thing that I steadfast on is the truth behind the headlines, as I was about to say before, and talking about the news.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a story, and then there's a story. You know, there's a fact, and then there's a story behind the fact, and how much of that story is true. You know. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes,
we'll talk more on Friday. And this has been a blast.
I actually thought it was Friday today. Damn it.
I do that all the time. Remember, I've played some show intros where I say, "Hey, a Monday show on Wednesday."
It's crazy. Actually, it's Thursday for me now. See, I get tricked by all the time.
To me, it's the most exciting thing you can talk about.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, the Amanda show.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we don't use wind. We actually use.
More than I care to admit.
More than right? Yes. I just hope we had some toilet.
Oh God. Yep. So
I guess
what was I going to say? Yeah. So we got to get going, I guess. It's almost time to get out of here. I think it's beyond the time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ooh. Did I just say my name?
Anyway.
Say my name for now.
Well, did you say Amanda's name?
Yeah, I say Amanda. It's time to go.
Oh.
Eddie, he's ready to take another shit.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Let's vacate. Oh my God, this was bad.
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Thank you, China.
Yeah, thank you, China. We appreciate you coming out back. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing. But I would add this. He knows what he is doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
They're hugging and kissing.
See? I told you.
There should be more hugging and kissing, I say. All over the world. People
more
feel
fun.
happier. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop being mad.
Well, they say, don't they, that your happy chemicals in your brain, they get released when you hug somebody. You get like a really warm, fuzzy feeling. Yeah, it's healthy. So hug more.
Yeah.
Kissing is optional.
Yes. And more sex.
Oh yeah, that's always a plus.
Yes, it is. It truly is. So, Cornell, you take care there. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
You've got to be awfully careful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
Oh.
Everybody be safe.
Yes. Be careful.
Yeah. I got one call to make here before we go on the show. Let me just do this one ringy dingy. One second. Trying to call out here. Trying to reach out. Two ringy dingies. Wait a minute.
Why don't you you can call me back.
Oh shit! All right, we'll call him back.
Oh, who was that?
That was Dick Nixon. I tried to get the former president on the phone to get his comment. Yeah, but all right, we'll call him. Well, maybe we'll talk to him on Friday. We'll talk to Mr. Nixon on Friday to get his take.
Yeah.
We'll get.
He has his weaknesses, but he has good people around him.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sound like
very true. Always keep a good, positive circle of people around you.
Is that us?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Good to know.
Oh my.
I have a boyfriend. He goes on forever. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, come on, when is this going to be over?
Well, soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Very soon.
Oh. The moon looks so spooky outside my window right now. My goodness. Oh no.
A man should have said,
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know.
Is it a half moon?
Right
I can't wait to see it later. It's not up here yet. Is it a half moon?
No, it's kind of like 3/4 with the edge kind of skimmed off a little. But there's like this real hazy, I mean, it has a hazy glow around it generally from the pollution, granted, but this almost looks like it has a misty haze over it, which looks very, very spooky right now. It's very cool. Excellent.
This issue is under investigation.
You know, we're sending the Artemis to the moon. We're sending a new rocket beyond the moon, 40,000 miles beyond the moon and back. Unmanned. Mannequins are in it. They're sending these from Macy's department store. From the menswear. Yeah, they got some in the pilot seats. Yeah.
You guys are not serious.
No, we are. They're sending.
I thought you were going to say they're sending them as close to the sun as possible so they can actually test out the materials on the mannequins to see how they burn up. But they don't.
Oh, my. Yeah, but we're sending a rocket. It's been scrubbed. 2 of them have been scrubbed. I guess the next launch date, because of the technical issues, some kind of hydrogen link in the main rocket system. They have to wheel this thing. It takes 3.5 days to get it back into the building where they built it and put it together. And they got to go over some issues that they've found before countdown started. They got to remedy these issues, and then they'll bring it back, and they will launch this amazing, enormous rocket ship to orbit the moon, and then go 40,000 miles beyond the moon, which would have been the furthest man has ever launched a rocket, and return to Earth. And following that will be I'm pretty sure a manned mission orbiting the moon in the same rocket, and then following that will be a manned mission with a lander similar to the LEM that was used in the Apollo space program back in the late 60s, early 70s. 12 men have walked upon the moon so far, the last one being in 1972. We've never returned to the moon, and we are doing so within the next few years. And in that process, we'll be sending the first woman and the first person of color to the moon.
About time, damn it.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah, but these people, but
as of 2018, there are 2,208 billionaires across the world with
and all of them are going to the moon. Now, if we can figure out SpaceX is still soliciting rides to space, as is who's the other guy, the Amazon guy.
Who's
Amazon? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
There's SpaceX and there's the other program. I forget what it's called. Anyway, they're still offering rides to space.
Amazon guy. The guy that, oh my God, who is the Amazon guy?
Our listeners probably know, and they're probably sitting there. Come on, guys. Yeah. Our listeners are probably sitting there knowing.
I know, right? We're sat here clueless. They're like, we know more than you do.
Yeah. Hey, Cornell, we still got a caller here who sent this message into us. Jeff Bezos.
What's the
of
name?
Course, that's it. Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
We've obtained substantial evidence.
Yeah, that's who it is. Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. Hey, Cornell.
Yes.
You like to dress up like a woman?
Not today. I'm feeling more like a man.
Okay, good.
No, I love his honesty, though. I love that he likes to dress up like a woman. It's very brave. It's very very awesome.
Yeah.
Plenty of women like to dress up like a man, wearing men's clothing. It's very comfortable, you know.
Definitely, Andy, cut that.
Women actually get criticized for that, you know. Women get criticized for wearing like men's t-shirts or jeans or whatever, but it's actually a really relaxed fit, and it gets very comfortable for some women to be wearing that kind of stuff. It's not like they're going out there to say, "Hey, I like to look like a man. I'm trying to be like a man." It's not that at all. It's just that it's actually comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, my wife, I sweatpants and t-shirts. I don't have no more clothes anymore. No.
Ah, there you go. Then you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. I had that problem quite frequently. Yes. I don't know who's stealing my clothes, but people are stealing my clothes. I'm serious. Like, I'll put a pair of pants away or something like that. Sure. I don't have a chest of drawers or anything. So you just throw things around the floor in my house. But anyway, I share with you, I don't have a chest of drawers. I have no bureau, and I have no drawers. I have no drawers. That's pants, isn't it? Is drawers pants? Huh?
Okay.
Who calls drawers or drawers? Who calls drawers pants? Like, pull your drawers up. Your drawers?
It's funny, actually.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, we don't call pants pants.
What do you call them?
Your drawers.
So for like jeans or trousers, that's what we will say, jeans or trousers. We never say pants. Pants are like underwear in the UK. So when we hear somebody in the US say, "Oh, I bought a pair of pants," of course, in the UK, we were like, "Oh, underwear." So, yeah, and this is hilarious as well, right? When I find out that, what was it? You call your backside a fanny, right? But in the UK, that is slang for a woman's parts, you know? So it's funny.
On top writing.
Yeah. So when you say fanny pack for that bag you wear around your waist, we call it a bum bag, because you know, it represents the same thing. It's just we call them bums and not fannies, because a fanny here is something different.
Wow.
So yeah, fascinating.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Like, you know, we don't come up with a list of we do this for fun sometimes. It's come up with a list of words, of slang words, whatever, that we use here, that we're known, and that have a completely different meaning there. Like there's maybe on the internet or something. I don't know. But we should try to put that together. That would be kind of fun, just to extend some time and have some fun with language.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, we should totally. That would be a lot of fun. I'm sure we get a lot of laughs with that.
Yeah, that could be good. I like that idea. Couldn't remember that. We gotta do that. I think. Are you still there?
He's gone quiet. Maybe he's got a drink.
What I say is what I say. Person.
Well, that's very good. Woman, man, camera, TV. Is that one? I think. Remember that? Anyway.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Blast from the past. So we. I guess we got to get out of here.
Absolutely.
I guess we do. You know, I don't want to. I hate to say goodbye. I hate long goodbyes, Amanda.
I hate goodbyes.
I hate long goodbyes. Do you cry at weddings?
Yes. Although these last two, literally my eyes welled up and I held all the emotion back. I didn't allow myself to cry.
You howled?
I howled.
Your eyes swelled up and you howled?
No. Although I might be doing that tonight, looking for this moon, I tell you.
Your eyes
the best is yet to come.
Yes. No.
It's a beautiful thing, a wedding. You know, seeing people like commit to each other like that is beautiful.
How was I got all those pictures, by the way. Those pictures were great.
Oh, thank you very much.
And you played piano. You played piano, right?
I didn't actually play it for anybody there. That piano was on the ground, and I snuck off when I saw it, and had to have a play because, you know, us musicians. So
I do.
Yeah, I couldn't resist.
Wow.
It was a beautiful piano as well. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I could have stayed there all day, but I wouldn't have got away with that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to heard you play. I was hoping that somebody recorded you playing the piano. I'd love to hear you play the piano.
Oh,
anyway,
I didn't even think about that. I just kind of snuck out for a moment and thought, I've got to do this before I get called back. So, I've probably been drinking. Yeah.
Fun time, though, huh? Fun wedding.
Oh, it was great. It was one of the best weddings I've been to in a long, long time. Or ever, in fact. Apart from my sister's wedding. Two fantastic weddings. So, yeah. Very, very good. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
experience.
That.
Thank you.
And, so we have...
ladies and gentlemen,
yes, it's time.
Oh, the saucy voice.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. I think what we're going to do is finish out the program today because we're talking about your music and composing and your talent and what you do for real outside of doing the show, of course. And play Highway to Hell, your tune.
Pardon?
That you, what's it called?
Highway to Heaven.
Oh, I'm sorry, Highway to Hell.
Not quite as popular as Highway to Hell.
What's it called? Highway to Heaven. I'm sorry. I can't get these things right.
He's full of shit.
Oh, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
AC/DC.
Yeah, right.
Amanda's actually, and can't somebody, actually, let's go over this real quick before we go. If you go to Amanda Love Music, is that your channel or something? How does one find
Amanda
what
Love
you
Music?
do?
Unfortunately, there's many Amanda Loves on YouTube, but if you put in the letters ALM, I'm likely to come up quicker than the other channels because I've shortened some of my videos with that on there, so that probably brings up my content quicker than putting Amanda Love Music. But
so ALM.
Yes.
Okay, as opposed to BLM, Black Lives Matter. Just remember ALM. Easy, boom, ALM. Okay, so no VLM, Black Lives Matter. Just think of ALM, and that's Alanda Love Music. Amanda loves music, and Alanda, yeah. And sometimes I twist the letters and consonants around.
It is molecularly impossible.
But I managed to do it. But anyway.
Yes, you do so well.
I'll tell you,
These are miserable, mean, nasty fucking scumbags.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. God, no respect. You know what I mean?
That is very disrespectful. My goodness.
It is. I don't get no respect on this show. Never any respect on this program. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know. All the abuse, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we're here 3 days a week.
Don't get the idea it was mere entertainment.
No, it's not. No. It's the Andy and Amanda show, In
case you forgot.
Yes. That's so, and people often ask,
what's it all about? This is true. That's a regular question in my mind, I tell you.
Yeah, it is.
Always.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys on. Amanda, you'll be joining us Friday, right? Cornell, you joining us Friday?
Of course.
And I think everybody's tired of hearing this by now.
I wish somebody would shut him the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hey, calm yourself.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? God, I'm not getting any, really. But anyway, Highway to Heaven. Amanda, real quick, we're going to play this tune here to exit our show.
Thank you.
So you wrote, this is composed, before we listen to it, can you give us a little background on the tune, how you did it, what's involved, how many layers were listening, what?
Actually, little backstory about it is that a friend contacted me and they were moving from one state to another. And they said, can you write us a song can you do some music for the road so we can listen to it while we're traveling? And I'm like, heck yeah, sure. So I started coming up with this music, and before I knew it, lyrics were like jumping into my head. I imagined them on the road and then starting a new life because that was their aim. And so they were the inspiration for that song, which I, greatly thank them for. And it turned into what it is today. And I was playing with all these instruments and wanted to create something that represented more of their style that they would listen to. And it seemed to work. They were overjoyed when they heard it. Unfortunately, they didn't get to listen to it while traveling. They got to hear it way after they actually moved there, which was a little sad, but it is what it is. And so I realized I had a really good song. People were saying, oh, my goodness, this is so great. You need to put that out there. And I'm like, well, you know, and I'm no singer. I literally put the vocals down because I needed to make it a song. And, yeah, it is what it is. It's what it is.
I love the first line of the tune. Love it. It's great. Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah, right.
Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah,
he's full of shit.
Yeah, we go.
I write my best material when I'm inspired by others. So.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop talking about it, and we will take a listen. Why don't you sign us out of here, and we'll finish the show with "Highway to Heaven" by Amanda Love and Cordell. Amanda will talk to you guys soon as see you on Friday on the next. I was going so well on the next Amanda Spandy show here. 515-605-9888. Feel free to email us your comments, suggestions, ideas. You know, whatever that's on your mind, AndyandAmandaShow@gmail.com. Amanda, get us out of here. Let's hear Highway to Heaven.
Absolutely. So on behalf of my amazing co-host in California, Hollywood, the wonderful Andy Kimball, my amazing coordinator, man behind this, the mastermind show, Cornell Butler, and myself, Amanda Love, here in the UK. And thank you so much to our caller who called in. Dude, you're awesome. And take care, everyone. Thank you for your support. We love you. Keep coming back. We want to hang out with you more. And have a great week. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.